The cameras at the Birmingham Open were supposed to be focused on the tennis ball, but instead, they captured a moment no one saw coming. In June 2026, at Birmingham Open, Alex Eala stepped onto the practice court ahead of her Birmingham Open debut and quickly became the center of attention. It wasn't because of a spectacular shot or an intense rally, but because of something far more unexpected. As Philippine flags waved proudly and chants from excited supporters echoed around the venue, the atmosphere grew increasingly electric. Then, the cameras caught a moment that instantly grabbed the attention of fans worldwide, causing social media feeds to explode with reactions. Within minutes, clips were being shared across the internet, and what happened next became one of the most talked about moments in tennis, leaving fans replaying the footage again and again. Rome, Italy, May 2026. At the Foro Italico, a routine practice session unexpectedly became the center of attention. The Birmingham Open was still days away from officially beginning, with qualifying matches underway while the sport's biggest stars and top seeds had already arrived to prepare for the tournament. The clay courts were freshly maintained, the Mediterranean sun cast a warm glow across the venue, and cameras positioned around the grounds were focused on the main stadiums in anticipation of the upcoming matches. However, it wasn't the professional broadcast cameras that captured the moment everyone would soon be talking about. It was a fan with a smartphone. The footage first appeared online on May 3, 2026, initially grainy and unnoticed by many, but it quickly spread across social media platforms. Reposted thousands of times, the clip amassed more than 2 million views within hours and surpassed 10 million views before the day was over. The video featured Alex Eala, the 20-year-old Filipina tennis sensation and product of the Rafa Nadal Academy, walking onto a practice court at the Foro Italico following her impressive breakthrough performances on the professional tour. Yet it wasn't her arrival that turned the clip into a viral sensation. What happened moments later was what truly captured the attention of tennis fans around the world. What made the video explode across social media wasn't Alex Eala's arrival on the practice court, it was what happened moments later. The stands were mostly empty, not because fans lacked interest, but because practice sessions are typically not ticketed events. Only a small group of spectators had gathered, consisting of a few reporters and dedicated fans who had learned that Eala would be practicing that day. As she began her warm-up routine, something in the crowd caught her attention. Tucked away in one corner of the stands was a small group of supporters holding a handmade sign. It wasn't flashy, sponsored, or designed for television cameras. Instead, it carried a simple message that immediately resonated with Filipinos around the world. For many international viewers, the phrase on the sign was confusing, and as the video spread online, hundreds of comments appeared asking what it meant and why it seemed so important. Filipinos quickly filled the comment sections with explanations, sharing stories about community, hospitality, and the special bond that exists among Filipinos living abroad. To them, the sign represented far more than a slogan. It symbolized the warmth, support, and sense of belonging that Filipinos often extend to one another no matter where they are in the world. As those explanations spread, viewers began to realize that they weren't just watching a tennis practice session, they were witnessing a genuine cultural moment that connected a rising sports star with her community in a way that felt authentic, emotional, and unforgettable. As the video continued to spread, viewers began sharing their own interpretations of the sign and the powerful message behind it. One user recalled how members of the Philippine women's football team had previously spoken about fans preparing home-cooked meals for them during overseas tournaments, highlighting the deep sense of community that often exists among Filipinos abroad. Another commenter explained that the phrase was rooted in Filipino humor and hospitality, describing it as a friendly invitation often used when celebrating with friends and family. To many Filipinos, it wasn't really about the food itself. It was about belonging, connection, and making someone feel welcome no matter how far they were from home. The woman holding the sign was later identified as Maria, a 34-year-old Filipina nurse who had been living and working in Rome for 7 years. Despite never having met Alex Eala in person, she felt a strong connection to the young tennis star, having followed her journey from afar and proudly watched her represent the Philippines on the international stage. For Maria, the sign was a simple but heartfelt gesture meant to send a message of support. She wanted Eala to know that even thousands of miles from the Philippines, there was a community ready to welcome her with open arms. In interviews shared online, Maria explained that her intention was simply to remind the young athlete that she was not alone, that there were fellow Filipinos in Rome who cared about her success and would gladly offer friendship, support, a home-cooked meal, or even just a familiar conversation whenever she might need it. The sincerity of that message resonated deeply with viewers around the world, transforming a brief moment at a practice session into a touching reminder of the bonds that connect people across continents. That, many fans said, is the Alex Eala effect at its purest, not a story about rankings, trophies, or match results, but about connection. What began as a simple sign, a shared laugh, and a friendly wave quickly evolved into something much bigger. Within 24 hours of the video going viral, the comments section had transformed from an ordinary social media discussion into a virtual gathering place where Filipinos from around the world came together to share their pride, humor, and admiration for the young tennis star who had become a symbol of hope and representation. Fans praised Eala not for her achievements on the court, but for the authenticity she displayed in that brief interaction. One supporter from Manila wrote that she could have easily ignored the sign and continued her warm-up, but instead she stopped, smiled, and acknowledged the people cheering for her, making them feel seen and appreciated. Another fan from California echoed that sentiment, saying that what people loved most about Eala was not her ranking or the trophies she might win, but the person she remained despite her growing success. As the story gained momentum, Philippine media outlets quickly picked it up, highlighting the moment as an example of the special bond Eala shares with Filipinos around the world. Commentators described it as a reminder that her influence extends far beyond tennis, resonating with communities who see in her not only a talented athlete but also someone who proudly carries her roots wherever she goes. For many viewers, the viral moment became a celebration of identity, belonging, and the simple power of acknowledging the people who support you, no matter where in the world they may be. The moment continued to gain momentum online, with many fans describing the pancit sign as an instant classic in overseas Filipino culture. Social media platforms were soon flooded with creative memes and jokes inspired by the viral interaction. Some users edited images placing Alex Eala's face on a steaming plate of pancit, while others designed humorous mock posters advertising an imaginary Alex Eala pancit house, with playful slogans celebrating both tennis and Filipino comfort food. One fan even shared a video of herself cooking pancit while watching clips of Eala's practice session, jokingly captioning it as preparation for the star's next match in case she got hungry. The humor spread rapidly and brought smiles to thousands of people, but beneath the laughter was a deeper emotional connection that resonated strongly with Filipinos living overseas. Many overseas Filipino workers shared heartfelt messages about what the moment meant to them, explaining how life abroad often comes with a constant longing for home, familiar food, and family gatherings. One supporter from Dubai wrote that seeing Eala acknowledge the sign struck a particularly emotional chord because it captured a feeling that many Filipinos abroad know well, the desire to stay connected to their roots no matter how far away they are. For these viewers, the viral exchange represented more than a funny internet moment. It became a reminder of community, belonging, and the enduring ties that connect Filipinos around the world. The morning after the pancit sign captured the internet's attention, all eyes were on Alex Eala during her press conference at the Foro Italico. With the Birmingham Open officially underway and her opening match scheduled for the following day, many expected questions about her preparation, strategy, and upcoming opponent. Instead, reporters were eager to discuss the viral moment that had touched millions of people around the world. The first question came from a Filipino journalist who asked what she felt when she saw the sign in the stands. Eala's response was immediate and heartfelt. She admitted that the moment made her feel deeply loved and appreciated, explaining that while the answer might sound simple, it was the honest truth. Reflecting on life as a professional athlete, she spoke about the challenges of constantly traveling from one tournament to another, rarely staying in one place long enough to feel truly settled. The demanding tour schedule, she explained, often means living out of suitcases, moving from country to country, and spending long periods away from familiar faces and places. As she gathered her thoughts, the room grew quiet. Looking toward the cameras, she spoke about the powerful reminder that the sign had given her too. In that brief interaction, she felt a sense of belonging and connection that transcended the tennis court. It reminded her of the people who support her from every corner of the world and of the country she proudly represents. For Eala, the viral moment was not simply about a sign or a joke shared between fans. It was a reminder of home, identity, and the unbreakable bond she shares with Filipinos everywhere. Eala continued by saying that no matter how far her career takes her, her connection to the Philippines will never change. The room fell silent as reporters listened, many visibly touched by her sincerity. When another journalist asked what her first reaction was upon reading the sign, Eala broke the emotional tension with a laugh, the same warm, genuine laugh that had helped make the original video so memorable. She joked that her immediate thought was that she suddenly wanted pancit because seeing the sign had instantly made her hungry. The room erupted with laughter, but she quickly returned to a more serious reflection. She explained that the moment made her think about the millions of Filipinos living and working abroad, especially the overseas workers who spend years away from their loved ones while making sacrifices to support their families back home. For Eala, the sign represented those people and the deep sense of connection they continue to maintain with their culture despite the distance. She shared that if her journey and her success could bring them even a brief moment of happiness or make them feel acknowledged and appreciated, that would mean more to her than any trophy or ranking. What began as a simple gesture from one fan soon grew into something much larger. In the days following the viral moment and her emotional press conference, the phrase on the sign took on a life of its own, spreading rapidly across social media and becoming a symbol of Filipino pride and community. Fans began printing it on t-shirt shirts, incorporating it into posters and profile bios, and sharing countless tributes online. The message resonated because it reflected something universal: the desire to feel connected, welcomed, and remembered, no matter how far from home one may be. As the story continued to spread, it became clear that what people were celebrating was not just a tennis player, but a shared sense of identity and belonging that had touched millions around the world. An overseas Filipino workers group in Dubai organized a pancit watch party for Alex/Eala's first-round match, bringing together hundreds of Filipinos who cooked, ate, and cheered as one community. Yet some of the most powerful reactions came not from organizations or brands, but from individuals. Maria, the 34-year-old Filipino nurse,